Welcome back to another episode of Infidelity Tales Lab. We're thankful for your continued viewership. Before we begin, tell us, where in the world are you watching from? We love knowing our global reach. Now, let's dive into today's story. Chapter 1, Broken Glass. August Wilson never considered himself lucky until he met Vanessa. The successful architectural firm he built from scratch had consumed his 20s, leaving little room for personal relationships. Then Vanessa Hayes walked into his office, a potential client seeking designs for her new art gallery, and everything changed. Her amber eyes, framed by chestnut hair, captivated him. Her wit and intelligence sealed his fate. Their courtship was swift, passionate. Within a year, they were married, and 9 months later welcomed their daughter, Lily. For 12 years, August believed he had everything: a thriving business, a beautiful wife who had given up her gallery aspirations to raise their family, and Lily, now a perceptive 12-year-old who shared his analytical mind. Then came the crash. August was returning from a business trip when his phone rang. The hospital. Vanessa had been in a serious car accident on a mountain pass outside their lakeside home in Maryland. Her Audi had careened off the road, rolling down an embankment. She'd been found unconscious, barely breathing. For 3 weeks, August barely left her hospital room, sleeping in the uncomfortable chair beside her bed, holding her limp hand. Lily would visit after school, sitting quietly, doing homework, watching her mother's still form. The doctors were cautiously optimistic. Brain activity was present, vital signs stable. But Vanessa remained unresponsive, locked in what they called a persistent vegetative state. Dr. Bennett, the neurologist, had been honest with August. Some patients wake up after days, others after years. Some never do. All we can do is wait. So August waited, running his business remotely, caring for Lily, and visiting Vanessa religiously. Their spacious lake house, once filled with laughter and dinner parties, fell silent. August moved mechanically through his days, a man sleepwalking through his own life. It was during this time that he noticed subtle changes in Lily. His once vibrant daughter grew withdrawn, constantly checking her phone. When questioned, she'd claim it was just a friend from school, but August sensed something more. Then came a phone call from Principal Harlow. Lily had been skipping classes. When confronted, she burst into tears but wouldn't explain. August chalked it up to trauma, her way of processing her mother's condition. He arranged for therapy and tried to be more present despite his own grief. One morning, August was reviewing designs in Vanessa's hospital room when Nurse Dominic entered. "There's been some unusual brain activity overnight," he said, studying the monitors. "It could be nothing, but it might indicate increasing awareness." Hope bloomed in August's chest. That evening, he brought Lily to visit. As August stepped out briefly to speak with Dr. Bennett, something happened in the room he would later replay in his mind countless times. When he returned, Lily's face had drained of color. She clutched her phone with white knuckles, staring at her mother with undisguised fear. "Dad," she whispered, grabbing his arm. "Mom is awake. She's faking it." August frowned. "That's impossible." Wordlessly, Lily handed him her phone. On the screen was a text message conversation with an unknown number. "He still doesn't suspect anything. 3 more weeks, then we're free. The insurance payout will be enough to disappear forever." "What about your daughter?" "Collateral damage. August can have her." August felt his world tilt. He looked at the unconscious form of his wife, then back at the messages. "The timestamp, sent yesterday." "She doesn't know. I have her old phone," Lily whispered. "I found it in her studio when I was looking for her insurance card. The passcode was my birthday." August's mind raced. He looked at Vanessa's heart monitor, the steady rhythm suddenly sinister rather than reassuring. He took Lily's hand and left the hospital immediately. Chapter 2, The Spider's Web. The drive home passed in a blur, Lily's revelation echoing in August's mind. He gripped the steering wheel of his Range Rover until his knuckles turned white, fighting to maintain composure for his daughter's sake. "How long have you known?" he finally asked as they pulled into their driveway overlooking Lake Whitewater. 2 weeks, Lily admitted, staring at her hands. "I wasn't sure at first. I noticed Mom's fingers would sometimes twitch when the nurses weren't looking. Then I found the phone. Inside their home, August settled Lily with hot chocolate before retreating to his study. The evidence lay before him. Screenshots of text messages between Vanessa and someone saved in her contacts as are. August's architectural mind, trained to see patterns, to build structures from nothing, began constructing a different kind of blueprint. One of betrayal. He accessed their financial records, discovering unusual withdrawals from their joint account over the past 6 months. Small enough not to raise immediate alarm, but totaling nearly $50,000. Next, he examined Vanessa's laptop. Her password, previously their anniversary date, had been changed. After several attempts, August leaned back, frustrated. Then, on impulse, he tried Raymond, and the screen unlocked. The name hit him like a physical blow. Raymond Voss, his college roommate and best man at their wedding. The godfather to Lily. It had been Raymond who recommended the insurance policy with the substantial payout in case of death or disability. Raymond, who had visited the hospital nearly as often as August himself, offering support, bringing coffee, checking on Lily. August's search history revealed the final pieces. Searches for remote properties in Costa Rica, information on offshore accounts, and a saved email confirming an appointment with a plastic surgeon in Mexico City for 3 weeks later, scheduled for Vanessa Voss. Cold fury replaced shock. August opened a new document and began to type, methodically listing every detail of their deception. Next, he created a second file, his plan. The following morning, August called Raymond from the hospital parking lot. "How's she doing?" Raymond asked, concern evident in his voice. "No change," August replied, injecting weariness into his tone. "Listen, I need a favor. The insurance company is requesting additional documentation. Could you stop by the office later? I'm buried at the hospital." "Of course, anything you need." August ended the call and entered the hospital, not to visit Vanessa, but to speak with Dr. Bennett. Their conversation was brief but productive. Afterward, he spoke with the hospital's security chief, an ex-military man named Floyd Gresham, who had once hired August's firm to design his cabin. That afternoon, August staged a meeting with his company's board, announcing a temporary leave of absence to focus on family matters. His COO, Naomi Prescott, would assume day-to-day operations. "Are you sure?" Naomi asked afterward, concern evident in her sharp features. They'd worked together for 15 years, and she knew him better than most. "I need time," he said simply. "For Lily. For myself." That night, August tucked his daughter into bed, sitting on the edge of her mattress longer than usual. "We need to talk about what happens next," he said gently. "I've made arrangements for you to stay with Aunt Diana for a while." "Dad, no," Lily protested. "It's not permanent," he promised. "But what I'm about to do, you can't be here for it." Lily studied him with eyes too old for her 12 years. "You're going to hurt them, aren't you?" August considered lying, but respected her too much. "Not physically, but they'll wish I had." Lily nodded slowly. "She doesn't deserve to be my mom anymore. And Raymond, he was supposed to protect our family, not destroy it." August kissed her forehead. "Pack for at least 3 weeks. Diana will meet you at the airport tomorrow." After Lily fell asleep, August descended to his basement workshop. Among the architectural models and design supplies, he retrieved a locked metal case. Inside lay items from his past that even Vanessa didn't know about. Documents from his time working on classified government buildings, security credentials, and specialized equipment. Before becoming an architect, August had served 4 years in the Marine Corps, followed by 3 years contracting with security firms that catered to government installations. His architectural success had buried that chapter of his life, but he had never forgotten the skills he'd acquired. By morning, August Wilson had disappeared, replaced by a man with one purpose: retribution. Chapter 3. Eyes wide open. Raymond Voss adjusted his Italian silk tie in the elevator mirror, ascending to August's office on the 32nd floor. At 42, Raymond had built a respectable career as an insurance broker, though his lifestyle exceeded his legitimate income, a fact hidden from the world through careful accounting and influential clients. When the doors opened, Naomi greeted him coldly. Their mutual dislike was nothing new. Raymond had always sensed she could see through him. "He's waiting for you," she said, leading him to August's corner office overlooking Baltimore Harbor. August sat behind his desk, uncharacteristically disheveled. "Thanks for coming," he said, voice hoarse. "The papers are here." He pushed a folder across the polished mahogany desk. Raymond scanned the documents, standard insurance forms requiring a counter-signature from the policy agent. As he signed, August poured 2 glasses of scotch, sliding one toward his friend. "To better days," August toasted. Raymond's phone buzzed. He glanced down at a text. "Nurse left. Come now." He quickly pocketed the device. "Everything okay?" August asked. "Client emergency," Raymond replied. "Listen, I need to run, but I'll visit Vanessa tonight." "Actually," August said, "I'm having her moved to a private facility in Delaware. The neurologist thinks a specialized treatment might help." Raymond's heart rate accelerated. I didn't realize. Which facility?" "I'll text you the details," August promised. "They're starting her on experimental treatments tomorrow." After Raymond departed, August remained motionless, replaying the flash of panic in the other man's eyes. In the adjacent room, Floyd Gresham removed his headphones. "Got all," the security chief confirmed, patting the recording equipment. "And you were right. He's heading to the hospital now." "And the tracker?" "Active. Planted it when I shook his hand." August nodded. "Let's go." At Johns Hopkins Hospital, August and Floyd watched from a security monitoring station as Raymond entered Vanessa's room. The hidden camera they'd installed that morning captured everything. Raymond locking the door, approaching the bed, leaning close to whisper in Vanessa's ear. Vanessa's eyes fluttered open. "You need to leave," Raymond hissed urgently. "August knows something. He's having you transferred tomorrow for treatments." "Impossible," Vanessa whispered back, fully alert. "He suspects nothing. He mentioned Delaware specifically. That's where we plan to." "Coincidence," she cut him off. "The money's already transferred. 3 more weeks and the insurance claim processes. We're too close to panic now." "What about Lily?" "She's been acting strange." Vanessa's face hardened. "She's a child, and she's August's problem once we're gone." Floyd glanced at August, whose expression remained impassive despite the cruel dismissal of their daughter. "We have everything we need," August said quietly. He texted Dr. Bennett, who entered Vanessa's room moments later, interrupting the conspirators' conversation. Vanessa immediately closed her eyes, resuming her comatose performance. "Mr. Voss," Dr. Bennett said stiffly, "visiting hours are over. I need to examine the patient." Raymond left reluctantly. Once alone with Vanessa, Dr. Bennett administered a sedative to ensure she remained unconscious, for real this time. That evening, August made 2 calls. The first to his personal attorney, Simone Alvarez, instructing her to prepare specific legal documents. The second to Diana, confirming Lily's arrival arrangements. As midnight approached, August drove to a neglected industrial district where a warehouse bore his company's for renovation sign. Inside, he prepared a space containing only the essentials: surveillance equipment, a desk, a cot, and physical evidence of Vanessa and Raymond's betrayal. On the wall hung architectural blueprints, not for buildings, but for the systematic dismantling of 2 lives. "You always told me patience was an architect's greatest virtue," August said to the empty room. "Let's see how patient you are, my love." The first phase of his plan was complete. Vanessa and Raymond believed their scheme was intact, unaware that August had already begun constructing their downfall, brick by carefully laid brick. Chapter 4. Foundations of Fear. 3 days after Lily's departure to Diana's home in Seattle, August's plan accelerated. Vanessa remained in the hospital, now under genuine sedation and constant monitoring by staff loyal to Dr. Bennett. The neurologist had been horrified by August's evidence and agreed to keep Vanessa's true condition confidential while August implemented his strategy. "Legally, I'm on thin ice," Dr. Bennett had admitted. "But what they plan to do to you and your daughter, I couldn't live with myself if I did nothing." Meanwhile, Raymond continued his routine, unaware of the surveillance tracking his every move. August monitored him from the warehouse, logging his patterns. Morning coffee at the same cafe, midday client meetings, evening visits to an upscale apartment building in the Arts District. On the 4th day, August made his first move. He sent an anonymous envelope to Raymond's office containing copies of his text messages with Vanessa. The accompanying note read simply, "Someone knows." That same afternoon, August called Raymond. "The transfer fell through," he explained. "The facility says Vanessa's condition doesn't meet their acceptance criteria." "That's unfortunate," Raymond replied, voice tight. "How are you holding up?" "Managing," August said. "Actually, would you check on the house tomorrow?" "The alarm system triggered. Probably just a power fluctuation, but I can't leave the hospital." "Of course." When Raymond arrived at the lake house the following day, he found everything undisturbed, except for a framed photo on the mantel that hadn't been there before. It showed him and Vanessa embracing on a beach in Cancun, a trip August had supposedly known nothing about. Raymond frantically searched for the photo, but left empty-handed, unaware of the cameras recording his panic. Meanwhile, August visited Western Shore Bank, where he and Vanessa kept their safe deposit box. With Simone Alvarez accompanying him, he opened the box to find it emptied of their emergency cash and several pieces of Vanessa's inherited jewelry. The bank manager confirmed Vanessa had accessed the box 6 weeks earlier. "We'll need that security footage," Simone stated, producing the necessary legal documents. The video revealed Vanessa and Raymond entering together, her laughing as she emptied the box. August watched impassively, adding the footage to his growing arsenal. That night, August replaced every lock on the lake house. The next morning, Raymond received another envelope at his office, this one containing a key with a note. "She trusted you with more than her heart." By the week's end, Raymond was unraveling. He made frantic daily visits to Vanessa, but with a nurse always present, he couldn't communicate freely. His calls to the unknown number on Vanessa's secret phone went unanswered, because August now controlled the device. On Sunday, August implemented the next phase. He texted Raymond from Vanessa's secret phone, plan compromised. "Move everything to secondary location. I'll make contact when safe." Raymond immediately drove to his apartment building, not to his own unit, but to one registered to a shell company August had discovered through financial forensics. Inside, Raymond frantically packed documents and valuables, unaware of Floyd Gresham photographing everything through a telephoto lens from the building opposite. As Raymond loaded his car, a uniformed police officer approached. August watched from nearby as the officer, actually Floyd's former military colleague, engaged Raymond in conversation, examining his driver's license before letting him go with a warning about illegal parking. "We have his alternate identity now," Floyd confirmed later at the warehouse. "Samuel Reed, complete with fake driver's license and credit cards." August nodded. "Track the accounts. I want to know where every penny is hidden." Floyd hesitated. "August, I've seen revenge destroy men. Are you sure about this?" August turned to the evidence wall, now expanded to include Raymond's fake identity documents and financial trails. "This isn't just revenge," he replied. "It's justice. For Lily, for the years they stole from us, for the future they planned to build on our destruction." The next day brought another development. Dr. Bennett called with news that Vanessa was fighting the sedation, becoming increasingly agitated. They couldn't keep her in this state indefinitely without raising questions. "It's time for phase 2, August decided. He instructed Dr. Bennett to reduce Vanessa's sedation, allowing her to wake, but not to leave. Hospital security would ensure she remained in the building while August sprang his next trap. When Vanessa regained consciousness, she found herself facing not August, but Simone Alvarez. "Mrs. Wilson," the attorney began crisply, "I'm here to inform you that your husband has filed for divorce on grounds of abandonment and premeditated fraud." "That's absurd," Vanessa sputtered. "I've been in a coma." "We both know that's not true," Simone replied, sliding forward printouts of the text messages. "What we don't know yet is the full extent of your criminal conspiracy. Until we do, your assets have been frozen by court order." The blood drained from Vanessa's face. "I want a lawyer." "Excellent idea," Simone agreed. "You'll need one." As Simone departed, she nodded to August waiting down the hall. "She's rattled," the attorney confirmed. "Expect a call to Raymond within the hour." August returned to his surveillance post, watching as Vanessa frantically called Raymond. Their conversation, recorded through both the hospital room microphones and Raymond's tapped phone, confirmed everything. He knows, Vanessa hissed. Not everything, but enough. We need to accelerate. The accounts are locked, Raymond responded. I can't access anything in your names. Use the offshore accounts. I'm trying, but something's wrong. The transfers are being declined. August smiled grimly. Floyd's military connections had proven invaluable, flagging the accounts with international banking authorities for suspected terrorism financing. A temporary measure, but enough to paralyze their funds for crucial days. Within hours, Vanessa checked herself out of the hospital against medical advice. August tracked her to Raymond's apartment, where their frantic conversation revealed the final pieces of their plan. The Costa Rican property purchased under false names, the scheduled plastic surgeries, the fake passports awaiting them in Mexico City. We still have options, Raymond insisted. I have cash reserves. We can disappear now. Without the insurance money? That was the whole point. We're talking about survival now, Vanessa. August isn't the pushover you thought. August closed his laptop, having heard enough. The foundation was laid. Now came the walls of their prison. Chapter 5. Structural Collapse. 1 week into August's orchestrated descent into Raymond and Vanessa's lives, they attempted their first escape. August's surveillance tracked them to Baltimore-Washington International Airport, boarding separate flights. Raymond to Miami, Vanessa to Dallas, with connecting flights to Mexico City. They never reached their destinations. As Raymond waited at his gate, 2 TSA agents approached, requesting he follow them to a private room. His fake passport, under the name Samuel Reed, had triggered a security alert. Hours of questioning followed, his luggage thoroughly searched. Though eventually released, he missed his flight and returned to his apartment shaken. Vanessa fared worse. Her flight was diverted to Atlanta due to mechanical issues, where she was detained by customs officials who claimed her passport showed signs of tampering. By the time she returned to Baltimore, Raymond had received another anonymous message. Every exit has been sealed. August watched their growing desperation from his command center, where Floyd monitored their movements and communications. The legal noose tightened simultaneously. Simone had obtained emergency court orders freezing all discovered assets, pending investigation of potential insurance fraud. They're running out of options, Floyd noted, reviewing surveillance footage of Raymond withdrawing cash from an ATM, his fourth that day, staying under the daily limit. That's the point, Auguste replied. When you corner an animal, it reveals its true nature. That evening, Auguste received a call from a number he didn't recognize. He activated the recording equipment before answering. Auguste, Vanessa's voice, once beloved, now sent ice through his veins. We need to talk. About your miraculous recovery? He replied coldly. Or about your plans with Raymond? A pause. So you know, everything. I doubt that, she said, regaining confidence. Let's meet. Just us. We were married for 12 years. Don't I deserve a chance to explain? August considered his next move carefully. The boathouse. Tomorrow. Noon. After ending the call, Floyd looked concerned. It could be a trap. Undoubtedly, August agreed. But not for me. The following day, August arrived at the lakeside boathouse 30 minutes early, having already prepared the space. Hidden cameras and microphones had been installed, recording devices activated. He waited in the small structure where he and Vanessa had once spent summer afternoons, where Lily had learned to swim. Vanessa arrived precisely at noon, alone. She'd taken care with her appearance. Hairstyled, makeup applied, dressed in an outfit August had once complimented. The performance wasn't for his benefit. It was habitual manipulation. Thank you for coming, she began, sitting across from him at the small table. I know how this must look. Do you? August remained expressionless. Enlighten me. Raymond and I. She hesitated. It wasn't planned. It just happened. Like the fake coma? Like the insurance fraud? Like abandoning our daughter? Vanessa's mask slipped momentarily before she recovered. I never meant to hurt Lily. Yet you called her collateral damage. Her eyes widened slightly. Confirmation she recognized her own words. What do you want, August? She asked finally. Money? Is that why you've frozen everything? I want to understand, he replied. When did I lose you? Or was it all a lie from the beginning? The question seemed to catch her off guard. For a moment, genuine emotion crossed her face. The first years were real, she admitted. But you were always working, always building your precious firm. I became another piece of furniture in your perfect house. And Raymond, he saw me, she said simply. He made time for me. August nodded slowly. And the accident? The coma? An opportunity, she replied, cold calculation returning to her eyes. Insurance pays triple for permanent disability. With your power of attorney, I could authorize transfers without suspicion. Eventually, you'd give up hope, move on. Clean, simple. Except for Lily. Vanessa shrugged. You're the better parent anyway. The casual cruelty stunned even August, who thought himself prepared for anything. What now, she asked. You turn us in? Scandal, public humiliation, dragging Lily through it all? Or we make a deal? August leaned forward. What kind of deal? Raymond and I disappear. You get full custody. No messy divorce. No public spectacle. I sign whatever you want. In exchange for unfreeze one offshore account, just one, and give us a head start. August appeared to consider this, then slowly nodded. I'll need account details, and you'll sign the papers today. Relief flooded Vanessa's features. I knew you'd be reasonable. You always were practical. August extracted a document from his briefcase. Divorce papers Simone had prepared, granting him full custody and all assets. Sign, he instructed, offering a pen. Then we'll discuss the account. Vanessa's signature flowed across the paper without hesitation. August folded the document carefully into his briefcase. The account information, she prompted. There's one more thing, August said, removing a second document. A confession. Vanessa's smile vanished. Absolutely not. It's insurance, he explained. If you ever contact Lily or attempt to challenge the divorce, this goes to the police. Her eyes narrowed. You're bluffing. You'd never put Lily through that publicity. Sign it, and we'll never find out. Their standoff lasted nearly a minute before Vanessa snatched the pen, scrawling her name on the confession with barely concealed fury. The account, she demanded. Now, check your phone, August instructed. Her phone chimed with an email notification. She opened it, frowning at the bank statement, showing an active account in the Cayman Islands with a substantial balance. This isn't ours, she said. No, August agreed. It's new, untraceable. Your head start is promised. As Vanessa studied the document, August casually mentioned, Raymond should be receiving similar papers from Simone right now. Once he signs, you're both free to go. Vanessa's head snapped up. You sent someone to Raymond? Of course. The deal includes both of you. She stood abruptly. I need to call him. Why? August asked mildly. Don't you trust him to make the right decision? The question hung in the air as Vanessa hurried from the boathouse, already dialing Raymond's number. August gathered the signed documents and exited unhurriedly. In his car, he called Floyd. Is it done? Raymond signed everything, Floyd confirmed. He didn't even read it after I showed him the bank statement. And the tracker? Active in both phones and vehicles. August started his car. Now we wait for them to betray each other. The trap was set. The walls were closing in. All that remained was the roof to complete their prison. Chapter 6. Load-bearing lies. 2 days after the meetings, Raymond and Vanessa made their move. August tracked them to Baltimore Harbor, where they boarded a private yacht registered to one of Raymond's wealthy clients. Their destination, international waters, then a coastal transfer to a larger vessel bound for Venezuela, a country with no extradition treaty with the United States. Should we stop them? Floyd asked, monitoring their movement from the warehouse. Not yet, August replied. Let them think they've escaped. He opened his laptop to review the latest report from Simone. The divorce was finalized through expedited channels. His connections and Vanessa's signed confession providing leverage for the judge to bypass normal waiting periods. Lily's custody was secured. All assets transferred solely to August's name. But these legal victories were merely the framework for August's true plan. The confession Vanessa had signed contained more than an admission of insurance fraud. It detailed an elaborate scheme involving blackmail and theft of proprietary architectural designs, implicating Raymond as the mastermind. Similarly, Raymond's signed confession painted Vanessa as the manipulative architect who had seduced him into betraying his best friend, claiming she had previously done the same to wealthy men across 3 states. Neither document would ever reach authorities. Their purpose was far more insidious. At precisely 2 p.m., August activated the final phase. An email sent to Vanessa contained Raymond's confession, along with GPS coordinates for a dead drop containing emergency cash if they became separated. A similar email reached Raymond minutes later, with Vanessa's confession and different coordinates. Through satellite tracking, August watched their vessel's progress halt in the Chesapeake Bay. The yacht circled for nearly an hour, evidence of the heated confrontation occurring on board as the conspirators faced their mutual betrayals. By nightfall, the yacht returned to harbor. Surveillance footage showed Raymond disembarking alone, Vanessa nowhere in sight. August's pulse quickened as he dialed Floyd. "She's not with him. Get eyes on the boat immediately." Within the hour, Floyd called back. Coast Guard conducted a random safety inspection. Vanessa wasn't aboard. Raymond claimed she'd changed her mind and taken a tender back to shore earlier. She wouldn't abandon the plan, August mused. Not willingly. The implication hung between them. August made another call, this one to a trusted contact within the Baltimore Police Department. An anonymous tip would point them toward Raymond's yacht, suggesting they bring sonar equipment. While authorities mobilized, August tracked Raymond to his Baltimore apartment, where he frantically packed a single suitcase and emptied his safe. The building's security cameras, accessed through August's connections with a property management company, captured his every desperate move. Raymond's phone rang continuously, calls from Vanessa's phone that went unanswered. August knew the calls weren't actually for Vanessa. They came from a programmed auto dialer he'd set up. Each missed call would increase Raymond's paranoia, especially once he checked the fake bank account August had created. By morning, the promised funds had cleared, showing a balance of $2 million. Raymond immediately attempted a transfer to another account, only to receive an error message. Transaction flagged for security verification. Please contact customer service. The number provided connected to a recording in August's voice. You betrayed the wrong man. You have 24 hours before everything comes to light. Raymond fled the apartment, driving erratically through the city before checking into a motel under his Samuel Reed identity. There, he made a series of increasingly frantic calls to contacts who might provide new documentation, to travel agencies specializing in discreet relocations, even to Vanessa's phone despite believing she had betrayed him. Meanwhile, the police investigation at the harbor intensified. Sonar equipment detected an anomaly near where the yacht had been anchored. Divers prepared to investigate. August watched these developments from his warehouse command center, feeling not satisfaction, but a cold clarity. The structures he'd designed, both physical buildings and this elaborate trap, always followed the same principle. Remove one key support, and everything collapses. That evening, he received the call he'd been waiting for. The police had found a weighted bag containing women's clothing in the bay. No body, but evidence of a potential crime. Raymond, as the yacht's register operator, was wanted for questioning. August made his final move. He sent simultaneous text messages to Raymond and to Vanessa's phone, which he now controlled. To Raymond, they found her. Run or surrender, your choice. To Vanessa's phone, which Raymond would see trying to call, I trusted you with my life. You'll pay for this. Raymond panicked. He abandoned the motel, driving recklessly toward the Canadian border. State troopers, alerted by August's anonymous tip about a fleeing murder suspect, created a roadblock on Interstate 83. Raymond attempted to evade it, lost control of his vehicle, and crashed into a ravine. He survived with minor injuries, but was taken into custody. Among his possessions, police found a blood-stained scarf identified as Vanessa's, planted in his luggage by August during the boathouse meeting. By midnight, news outlets reported Raymond Voss's arrest in connection with the disappearance of Vanessa Wilson, previously thought to be comatose following a car accident. The sensational story spread rapidly. The The best friend, the betrayed husband, the missing wife, the faked coma, the insurance scheme. August watched the media frenzy from his warehouse, expressionless. He closed his laptop, gathered the evidence that would never be needed, and methodically destroyed it all, except for one file containing the real truth, secured for Lily when she was old enough to understand. As dawn broke, August drove to the lake house for the first time in weeks. Inside, he systematically removed every trace of Vanessa: photographs, clothing, personal items, placing them in boxes for storage. Not destruction, but removal. Clinical and complete. In Vanessa's home studio, he paused before her unfinished paintings. Among them stood a family portrait she'd been working on before the accident. August, Vanessa, and Lily on the dock of their lake house, seemingly perfect. He studied it dispassionately before turning it to face the wall. His phone rang. The caller ID showed Dr. Bennett. "It's done," the neurologist said without preamble. "She's been checked in under the name you provided. The facility understands the situation. Will she be comfortable?" August asked. "As much as possible, given the circumstances. The isolation ward is secure. Without additional identification or outside contact, she could remain there indefinitely." August ended the call and gazed out at the lake, where early morning mist obscured the horizon. Vanessa wasn't dead. That would have been too merciful. Instead, she was now the patient she had pretended to be, committed to a private psychiatric facility in western Pennsylvania under a Jane Doe status, courtesy of Dr. Bennett's connections. She would experience the true isolation of being trapped in her own body, surrounded by medical staff who believed her claims of being Vanessa Wilson were delusional. The ultimate irony: her fake coma had become a real prison. With Raymond facing murder charges and Vanessa institutionalized, the second act of August's revenge was complete. The foundation had crumbled, the walls had collapsed, and now the structure of their betrayal lay in ruins. August picked up his phone and dialed Diana's number. It was time to bring Lily home. Chapter 7. Clearing the debris. 3 months after Raymond's arrest, August sat in a sterile conference room at the Maryland State Correctional Facility. Across the table, Raymond, once his closest friend, looked diminished in his orange jumpsuit. His trial for Vanessa's murder was scheduled to begin in 6 weeks. "I didn't kill her," Raymond insisted, desperation evident in his hollow eyes. "You have to believe me, like I believed you with everything else." August replied evenly. "My business, my marriage, my daughter's well-being, I deserve whatever happens to me for that," Raymond admitted. "But I didn't hurt Vanessa. We argued on the boat, yes, but she was alive when I last saw her." August studied him impassively. "The evidence suggests otherwise." "Evidence can be manipulated," Raymond countered. "You know that better than anyone." A subtle acknowledgement passed between them, unspoken recognition that August had orchestrated this downfall with architect's precision. "Why are you here?" Raymond finally asked. August slid a document across the table. "A confession, the real one this time. Sign it, and I'll ensure you serve your sentence in minimum security." Raymond scanned the pages. "This admits everything: the affair, the insurance fraud, the plan to disappear, but not murder. Because you didn't commit that particular crime?" August confirmed. "Not technically." Understanding dawned in Raymond's eyes. "She's alive. This isn't mercy," August clarified. "Sign the confession, serve 15 years for fraud and conspiracy, and walk away with your life. Refuse, and the murder evidence becomes more convincing. And Vanessa is experiencing the consequences of her choices," August replied. "As we all must." Raymond signed without further hesitation. Outside the prison, August met with Simone, who took possession of the confession. "This closes the financial case," she confirmed. "The insurance fraud charges alone carry substantial penalties. And the murder investigation? Without a body, it was always circumstantial. With this confession, prosecutors will accept a plea deal for the financial crimes." She studied him carefully. "You never intended for him to be convicted of murder." "Justice, not vengeance," August replied. "Raymond will lose 15 years, approximately what he and Vanessa attempted to steal from Lily and me." As August drove home, he called Diana, who had remained in Baltimore after bringing Lily back. His sister-in-law, technically no longer family but still firmly in his corner, had been invaluable in helping Lily adjust. "How is she today?" he asked. "Better," Diana replied. "She actually laughed during our movie night. First time I've heard that in months." August felt a weight lift slightly. Lily's emotional recovery had become his primary focus. The trauma of her mother's betrayal and apparent death had left deep scars, requiring careful therapy and constant support. At home, August found Lily sitting on the dock, legs dangling above the water. He joined her silently, respecting her space while making his presence available. "Dad," she said eventually, "is it wrong that I don't miss her more?" The question cut through pretense. August considered his response carefully. "Grief isn't linear," he said, "and it's complicated when the person you're grieving isn't who you thought they were. I keep remembering good things, baking cookies, painting together. Then I remember the texts and feel sick." She looked at him directly. "Did you ever suspect?" "Before the accident?" "No," August admitted. "Your mother was skilled at concealment." "Like you?" Lily asked perceptively. August met his daughter's gaze. At 12, she possessed insight beyond her years, partly inherited, partly forged by trauma. "I've never lied to you," he said, "but there are things I haven't shared because I believe they would cause you more pain." "About Mom?" "Yes." Lily absorbed this. "Someday, I want to know everything. Not now, but someday. When you're ready," August promised, "you'll have the whole truth." They sat in companionable silence as the sun set over the lake. August mentally reviewed his remaining tasks, finalizing Lily's trust fund, restructuring his business to allow more family time, and the quarterly check on Vanessa's continued containment. The foundation of his new life was taking shape, built not on revenge, but on protection and truth. The architect in him recognized that the strongest structures were those designed to weather future storms, not merely survive past ones. That night, August received a call from Floyd Gresham. "There's been an incident at the facility," the security chief reported. "Nothing serious, but she's becoming more insistent about her identity. Started reciting personal details about you and Lily to one of the nurses. Increase monitoring," August instructed. "If necessary, we'll arrange a transfer to the Wyoming location." "August," Floyd said hesitantly, "this can't go on forever. Eventually, someone will listen, investigate. It won't be forever," August assured him. "Just long enough." After ending the call, August opened his safe and removed the file containing the complete truth, evidence of Vanessa's fraud, Raymond's confession, and documentation of August's methodical revenge. Someday this would belong to Lily, allowing her to decide Vanessa's ultimate fate. Until then, August would maintain the illusion that had become reality. Vanessa Wilson had disappeared, presumed dead. Her betrayal had been buried, and her husband, once blindsided by deception, had transformed into the architect of justice. Chapter 8. New Blueprints. 1 year after Vanessa's disappearance, August stood at the front of a small university lecture hall, concluding his guest presentation to architecture students. His firm had not only survived the scandal, but thrived under his renewed focus and Naomi's partnership. They'd recently won the contract for a revolutionary sustainable housing development that had garnered international attention. "Architecture isn't just about buildings," he told the students. "It's about creating spaces that withstand both physical stress and the passage of time. The true test of design is resilience." Among the audience, August noticed a woman with auburn hair observing him intently. As students gathered around him afterward with questions, she waited patiently at the periphery. When the crowd dispersed, she approached. "Powerful words about resilience," she said, from someone who's clearly tested the concept. "Professor Madeleine Rousseau," she continued, offering her hand. "I teach structural engineering here. Your housing project is remarkable. I've been using it as a case study." August shook her hand, experiencing an unexpected moment of connection. "August Wilson, thank you for the invitation to speak. Actually, that was my colleague's doing, but I insisted on attending." Her direct gaze held intelligence and something else, understanding without pity. "Would you be interested in coffee?" I have questions about your cantilever design that weren't covered in the lecture. For the first time in months, August felt something shift within him. Not healing exactly, but movement. I'd like that. Coffee extended to dinner, their conversation flowing from architectural theory to personal philosophy. Madeline had lost her husband to cancer 5 years earlier and raised their son alone while building her academic career. Grief changes your fundamental structure, she observed. You either collapse or rebuild stronger at the broken places. August appreciated her directness. There was no need to maintain facades with someone who recognized the architecture of loss. The following week, he invited her to dinner at his home. Lily, now 13, watched their interaction with cautious optimism. After Madeline departed, his daughter offered her assessment. She's smart, and she doesn't do that annoying head tilt thing when she talks about mom. August smiled. The sympathy tilt. Exactly. Lily considered further. I like that she asks real questions instead of just saying everything will be okay. She understands reconstruction, August said. Are you going to see her again? Would that be all right with you? Lily nodded thoughtfully. Just go slowly. I'm not ready for a new mom. Neither am I, August assured her. But maybe we're ready for a friend. As summer arrived, August maintained his careful monitoring of both Raymond's incarceration and Vanessa's containment. Raymond had adjusted to prison life with surprising adaptation, teaching financial literacy to fellow inmates. August arranged for qualified legal representation to ensure his plea deal remained intact, not from compassion, but principle. Vanessa's situation proved more complex. Her insistence on her true identity had intensified, requiring her transfer to a more remote facility in Wyoming that specialized in delusional disorders. There, under the name Jane Harper, she received treatment for her fixed false belief of being Vanessa Wilson. August received monthly reports from the facility director, a former military psychiatrist who understood the unusual arrangement. The substantial payments from an offshore account, traced to Raymond Voss if investigated, ensured discretion and continued care. She's developed a new painting style, the latest report noted. Quite remarkable. Dark landscapes with distant figures. The art therapist believes it represents progress in accepting her current reality. August stored these reports in the growing file for Lily. The dossier now included newspaper articles about Raymond's conviction, medical evaluations of Vanessa's mental state, and August's own detailed account of events. Neither justification nor confession, but truth. In late July, August finalized plans for the lake house renovation, his first architectural project solely for himself since before his marriage. The design maintained the structure's bones, while reconfiguring spaces that held too many memories. Madeline reviewed his blueprints one evening on the dock, Lily offering occasional input as they refined details. The easy collaboration felt like another form of rebuilding. You've eliminated all the hidden spaces, Madeline observed, noting the open floor plan and transparent wall sections. No place for secrets. Exactly, August confirmed. As summer transitioned to fall, August received an unexpected call from Raymond's attorney. During a routine prison transfer, Raymond had attempted escape. In the ensuing pursuit, he'd sustained critical injuries. Hospital prognosis: unlikely to survive the night. August drove to the hospital alone, unsure of his own motivations. In the ICU, Raymond lay handcuffed to the bed, machines monitoring his failing body. "You came," Raymond whispered, eyes flickering open as August approached. "Yes, I didn't expect that." August studied the man who had once been his closest friend. "Neither did I. Is she really alive?" Raymond asked, voice barely audible. August considered lying, but found no purpose in it. "Yes." Relief smoothed Raymond's pain-creased features. "Good. Not because I care about her anymore, but I didn't want to be a murderer. You are many things, Raymond, but not that." Raymond's breathing grew labored. "Your revenge, it was perfect. The architect's touch. It wasn't revenge," August corrected. "It was justice. Is there a difference? Revenge destroys the avenger. Justice preserves them." Raymond's eyes closed briefly before reopening with effort. "Tell Lily, I'm sorry For everything. I will, August promised, though unsure if he would fulfill it. And August, when does it end? The justice. August considered the question. When the debt is paid. Raymond nodded faintly. Mine is almost settled then. His eyes drifted shut again. The perfect design. You always were the better architect. August remained until Raymond's breathing evened into unconsciousness. He left without witnessing the final moments, knowing the structure of their connection had reached its inevitable conclusion. Raymond died at 3:17 a.m. August received notification while sitting in his study, reviewing the Wyoming facility's latest report on Vanessa. With methodical precision, he updated both files. The architecture of his revenge, no, his justice, had withstood every test. One support beam had now been permanently removed. The question remained whether the overall structure required the second to remain in place. That decision, August determined, would eventually belong to Lily. When she was ready for the whole truth, she would inherit both the knowledge and the power to determine Vanessa's fate. Until then, August would continue building their new life. A design focused not on the past shadows, but on the transparent spaces of their future. Chapter 9. The Final Inspection. 5 years after Vanessa's disappearance, August stood in the renovated living room of the lake house, surveying the gathered guests. His firm had just won the prestigious Pritzker Architecture Prize for the Sustainable Community Development, now widely studied as a model for future urban planning. The celebration was intimate. Key team members, close friends, and family. Lily, now 17, moved confidently among the guests, her recent acceptance to Cornell's architecture program a source of quiet pride for August. Diana chatted with colleagues near the fireplace, while Madeline, now a permanent fixture in their lives though they maintained separate residences, discussed structural innovations with Naomi. As conversations flowed around him, August's phone vibrated with a text from Floyd Gresham. Wyoming report arrived. Status unchanged. Call when convenient. August acknowledged the message, but didn't allow it to disturb his present. The Wyoming facility where Vanessa remained had become a distant satellite in his consciousness, monitored but no longer central. Later that evening, as guests departed, Lily joined August on the rebuilt dock extending over the lake. The structure was stronger than its predecessor, designed to withstand harsher weather while appearing deceptively delicate, much like the young woman herself. I want the file, Lily said without preamble. The one you've been keeping. About Mom. Though startled by the timing, August had anticipated this moment. You're sure? I'm leaving for college in 2 months, she replied. I need to know everything before I go, to decide what to do. August studied his daughter's profile, the determined set of her jaw reminiscent of his own. It's comprehensive and difficult. I know. I've had 5 years to prepare. They sat in silence as darkness settled over the water. Finally, August nodded. Tomorrow morning. The following day, August unlocked his office safe and removed the extensive file he'd maintained since the beginning. It contained everything. The original text messages, medical reports, surveillance transcripts, financial records, Raymond's confession, and detailed documentation of August's orchestrated justice. Most importantly, it contained the current location and status of Vanessa Wilson, now known as Jane Harper, at the Wyoming psychiatric facility where she continued to receive treatment for her delusional identity disorder. August placed the file on the table between them in Lily's personal studio, a space he'd included in the lake house renovation for her burgeoning architectural talents. Take whatever time you need, he said. I'll be in my office when you're ready to talk. Hours passed as Lily absorbed the complete truth. August waited, reviewing designs for his next project, a memorial center for victims of fraud and deception. The irony wasn't lost on him. When Lily finally appeared in his doorway, her eyes were clear despite evident tears. You never told me you visited her, she said, holding a report from 2 years earlier documenting August's sole visit to the Wyoming facility. It wasn't relevant to your decision, he replied honestly. What was she like? August considered his response carefully. Diminished, still insisting on her true identity, but her conviction had weakened. The staff reported she'd begun incorporating elements of her Jane Harper identity into her self-perception. A fractured foundation, Lily murmured, the architectural metaphor natural to them both. Yes. Lily settled into the chair across from him. Did she ask about me? She did. I told her you were thriving. Was that the truth? By then, yes. August met his daughter's searching gaze. You survived her betrayal. Then you thrived despite it. Lily nodded, processing this. The file says I have the authority to determine her status once I turn 18. That's correct. The trust one established gives you legal control over the Wyoming arrangement on your 18th birthday. You can maintain it, modify it, or terminate it entirely. And if I terminate it, she will be released. The trust includes provisions for her reintegration, modest housing, basic income, new identification documents. She could rebuild a life, though not with her former identity. Or I could leave her there indefinitely, Lily stated, testing the weight of this power. You could, August acknowledged, though I wouldn't recommend carrying that burden forever. Lily studied him with a perceptiveness that had only sharpened with age. You never intended her punishment to be permanent, did you? Despite everything she did. I intended justice, not eternal damnation, August replied. The specific duration was always meant to be your decision. Because she hurt me most of all. Because you deserved agency in the resolution. Lily fell silent, considering this. Finally, she asked, what would you do if it were solely your decision? After 5 years of reflection, August leaned back in his chair. I would release her, but with conditions. No contact with either of us. Permanent relocation at least 1,000 miles from here. Financial support contingent on continued therapy. Mercy within boundaries, Lily observed. Justice with closure, August corrected. Continuing her confinement serves no purpose beyond vengeance, which corrodes the soul of the avenger. You deserve freedom from that burden. When did you reach this conclusion? Gradually, definitely after Raymond's death. August paused. Building is more fulfilling than destroying, even when destruction is deserved. Lily gathered the file carefully. I need more time to decide. You have until your birthday. No pressure either way. As she turned to leave, she hesitated. Dad, was any of it real? Her love for us? August considered the complexity of this question, one he'd examined countless times himself. I believe the early years were genuine, he said finally, before discontent corrupted her. Some foundations are sound, but can't support what's built upon them. Like your marriage. Yes. Lily nodded, satisfied with this architectural truth, if not comforted by it. 3 months later, August helped move Lily into her Cornell dormitory. As they said goodbye, she pressed an envelope into his hand. My decision, she explained. I've had it drawn up legally, as specified in the trust documents. August didn't open it until he returned home. Inside, he found detailed instructions. Vanessa would be released on Lily's 18th birthday, with the conditions August had suggested, plus one addition, a letter Lily had written explaining her decision. I choose this not because you deserve freedom, the letter concluded, but because I deserve peace. This isn't forgiveness, it's closure. Never contact us. Never attempt to explain or apologize. Consider this mercy your final gift from the family you discarded. August placed the document in his safe, recognition settling within him. His daughter had chosen resilience over resentment, construction over destruction. The architectural principle applied to emotional recovery. 1 month later, on Lily's 18th birthday, August received confirmation that Vanessa had been released from the Wyoming facility. The detailed termination report included her final psychological evaluation, still showing persistent identity confusion, but deemed functional for supervised reintegration. She had been transported to Portland, Oregon, provided with an apartment lease, basic furnishings, and 6 months of financial support. The trust would continue minimal payments contingent on her maintaining therapy and respecting the no-contact order. Her final statement to the facility director had been recorded. Tell them I understand now. The price of betrayal. That evening, August and Lily shared a video call. She from her dormitory, he from his lake house office. It's done, he confirmed. Lily nodded. Good. Now we can both focus on building rather than remembering. The architect's perspective, Auguste noted with pride. I learned from a best, she replied. Even the lessons you taught unconsciously. After their call ended, Auguste walked to the lake's edge. The water reflected moonlight in fractured patterns, broken but beautiful. Like memory, like recovery, like justice served and finally complete. He removed his wedding ring, unworn for years but kept in his safe as a reminder, and studied it one last time before casting it into the deep water. The architect of justice had completed his final inspection. The structure was sound, the foundation secure. The design had withstood every test. August Wilson returned to his home, leaving the past beneath the lake's dark surface, focusing instead on the blueprints of tomorrow, designs built not for retribution, but for life. And there you have it. Another story comes to an end. What did you think? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy this story, consider joining our community by subscribing. It means the world to us. For more stories like this one, check out the recommended videos on screen, and I'll see you there.